Hello, my name is Jacob Morehouse, and today I will be delivering a presentation on engineering ethics. So in this presentation, we will be going over 6 main points. What is the NSPE, which I will get into in just a second, the NSPE Code of Ethics, a specific code from this Code of Ethics, why that code is important, applications of this code, as well as a general overview of everything discussed today. So what is the NSPE Code of Ethics? Well, the NSPE is the National Society of Professional Engineers, and this organization is dedicated towards the betterment of the engineering profession as a whole, providing resources for engineers to better themselves, but most importantly for today's presentation, they have delivered the engineering profession with a set of ethical guidelines that all engineers should assess and follow when in situations in the workplace. So to begin, what is this ethical guidelines, and what does it say? Well, it is broken into 3 main parts. First is the fundamental canons, which is a concise bullet point overview of everything discussed later on in the ethical guidelines. 2, rules of practice, which is a more social application for social impacts an engineer may have and what they should do in different situations, as well as a professional obligation section, which is a more personal look into how engineers should think and react in these situations, but it still has impacts on society as a whole. But each of these codes are vital and they should be followed by all engineers. But in today's presentation, we'll be focusing on code III-5-b. Now the code in its entirety is here, and you can read it in the presentation notes or in the slides, but what does this say? Well, it says an engineer should not be influenced monetarily. Well, what exactly does this mean? It means if we have 2 organizations working on a project, an engineer at company A should not be influenced by money sent from company B. Now, is this important? Yes. It is very important for engineers to follow this code, as we will see later on. This may have legal ramifications, or it may lead to decreased transparency with the public, and this is never good. Now, in some ethical situations, there may be points where the general actions may not be followed, and one may have to take the path less chosen, which will end up being a better one. But for engineers, this code should be followed to the T, because there is no situation where taking money in a situation like that leads to anything good. So let's delve into a little bit more about why this matters. It gives an engineer a standard for how they should react in different situations. And if they can react correctly, they can avoid the situation as an entirety. Because if they get into it, there's potential legal trouble. It ensures that engineers follow the proper practices set in place by organizations like the NSPE, as well as probably their company policy. And further, it reinforces a positive action for how other engineers should live their lives and live their profession in order to ensure the best result in everything they do. Now, for applications, I want you to consider the following. A contractor has been assigned to build a building for a city. Now, this contractor goes out and they hire company A to help design it. Now, engineering company A has an engineer, but the contractor wants to pay the engineer. And should they accept it? In most cases, one will say, sure, why not? There's nothing bad that may come from this. They're still going to do their job. Engineering company gets their money, contractor gets their building. What's the worst that could happen? Well, by taking this outside income stream, the engineer now has an obligation, maybe subconsciously, maybe consciously, to this company. They feel they should follow what the company wants, and this could skirt some civil law and possibly lead to some injuries or death, which is never good. Further, this could lead to just irresponsible engineering, decreased transparency of the public, and it's a conflict of fair practice. No longer is who can do the best job, but who can this contractor pay to give what they want. Now, an overview. The entire NSPE Code of Ethics provides engineers with specific guidelines for how they should react correctly given different situations. It is important that engineers follow this to a T. In specific, as we discussed today, there is code III-5-b. says an engineer should not take money from situations they know is immoral, as it can lead to several issues like breaking the law, possibly, breaking company policy, and also it doesn't look good and it's irresponsible. Finally, is this important? Yes. It ensures all laws are being followed, and it's just responsible engineering, as we've discussed. So engineers should ensure that they follow the NSPE Code of Ethics, especially III-5-b in the everyday workplace. Finally, this is my references. Thank you.